Hey friend, Roger Christofferson here again with another first listen review. Just got done listening to the new album by Sabu, or Sabu, not really sure, but it's Paul Sabu or Sabu, and his new album called Banshee. They're using the band name because there was a band with that name. They had members and all that stuff, but this is just him along with Barry Sparks. And if you're not familiar with Barry Sparks, he's a bass player. He was in Dokken for a long time. He's got a couple solo albums out. He's played with pretty much everybody under the sun. I think he did some stuff with Ted Nugent. He was a Michael Schenker for a while. He's played with a bunch of different guitar heroes like Vinnie Moore and Ron Grapow from Halloween. He was with a guy out of Cleveland, I think it was Cleveland, Jeff Coleman, who actually I met at some event that was going on there years and years and years ago. That was kind of cool. Got a demo tape from him back before he was even signed with anybody. That was kind of a cool little experience. Didn't get to play at that one. Just went there. It was like a big convention or something, and we just met a bunch of people. I don't even remember the whole deal, quite honestly. But he's played with Mike Viscara, who actually I have met him. My band actually did a show with Yngwie. I honestly don't remember if he was in the band at that point in time. I remember meeting Yngwie and Mike Viscara at that point in time. And, just tons of different people. But anyway, back to Paul. He is also like one of these, he was like the voice or the producer of like AOR, a lot of people consider him like this hidden gem, or maybe not even quite that hidden, but he's been around since the early 80s. There was a band called Kid Glove that he was in. Then he formed his own band under this name, and that turned into somehow became Only Child, which Only Child is probably my favorite thing he did along the years. It was kind of like a melodic rock, but a little bit more rockin' than the Sabu stuff, or Sabu. I wish I knew how to pronounce his name. Then it's changed members quite many times, and he became like a producer and engineer. Got out of doing that for a little bit. He was doing that in between albums and all these years. He was around for years and years and years. He's worked with all kinds of people as production and writing and engineering and all that stuff. David Bowie, Cooper, who else? Madonna he's actually worked with, Shania Twain, just all kinds of people. And they did TV stuff and all kinds of stuff. So he's been around forever, but his Frontiers label released a whole bunch of stuff this weekend yesterday. And this is one of the ones that got released along with a bunch of other ones that I've been listening to. It's really the only new stuff almost that interested me that came out this close to Christmas. Usually that doesn't happen. But, picked this up and wasn't disappointed. It's got the not quite as badly overproduced as some of these Frontiers things tend to be. Probably because he produced it himself, along with Barry. I think might have had something to do with this, but they did a good job at the production of the songs. And what I mean is, the producer's job a lot of the time is to decide how you're going to elevate certain parts of the song to give it dynamics, so it's not the same thing from beginning to end and boring us to tears, which some of these albums on this label tend to do. And he did a good job of not letting that happen. So there's ebbs and flows in the song, so it's not just boom. If an upbeat song, it's not just boom right from the start, go, and then ends. And if it's a ballad, it's not just slow the whole time. So good job as far as that goes, which I was definitely happy to hear. It's kind of funny because it's definitely more modern sounding, which obviously it's going to be. It just kind of piqued my interest to go back and kind of listen to some of his earlier stuff, which I have. And the production on the older stuff actually I liked better. The drums, just kind of on the earlier stuff kind of stood out. and the guitars had a little bit more life to them than this did. So it was still falling under the category of just being a little bit too compressed. I don't know if it's something that Frontiers does in their mastering or when they like print them or what happens. I don't know, but they all end up sounding extremely compressed, like all of them. So, and I've got a lot of these guys' releases, and they really all suffer from that same thing. So I don't know if it's something they do, and I love the music, and that's what kind of like really bums me out. Is like it's kind of sucking the life out of it a little bit. You want to hear the highs and lows. You don't want to hear everything all at the same level all the time. It's just that's how they get boring. So luckily this doesn't fall quite into that, but I could hear, you know, where it was happening a little bit. So it's definitely heavier than the earlier stuff that they did. So like I said, it's just him now, so there's no input from other musicians except for Barry. And you know, I'm assuming it was programming on this, that, you know, it sounds like the drums are programmed. So that also takes a little bit of the life out of it. And if it wasn't, it sounds quantized. So when you take a live drummer and you quantize all his parts and add samples and triggers, it just sucks the life out of the performance. I don't know why they do that. I know it makes it easier when you're recording because it fits into the grid and you can take parts and you can move them from one place to another and it saves time and all that, but it really does suck the life out of the recordings. And you can hear it on this in parts, and that was one of the things I really noticed, that so either it's a machine programmed or they just quantized it, or either that or that they found the most like precise drummer on the face of the planet, which is one of these two guys, which I don't think is really what happened. But anyway, enough of that. It was still a fun listen. Probably will listen to the CD player and give it a few more spins. It's not going to just go into the pile of no return, not be listened to again. It was good. So I enjoy all the stuff that they do. Like I said, Only Child is a cool band. I've always liked them. And Sabu, whatever, is really basically the same style of music. This one is heavier. It doesn't sound at all like the heavy keyboards and stuff like the earlier stuff. So it didn't fall into that category at all. They've definitely matured over the years, or he's matured over the years. I keep saying they. It's really basically just him and Barry. So anyway, that's that. So feel free to comment down below. If you have like any particular part of his history that I may have skipped over that you think I should mention or you want to mention, feel free. Tell me what you think of the new songs, the new style that they've progressed into, and you know, always feel free to comment down below. And like, subscribe, share, and all that fun stuff. We'll talk to you in the next one. See you.